Buckle up, you babies, because you're wrong about the Chiefs and Super Bowl 59. And me and Mike, we're going to talk about it. Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom. How we doing? Welcome in on this fine Wednesday morning, February the 5th. It is Super Bowl week, Mike, and it is my birthday tomorrow. I want to be the big 4-0. I'm officially an old man. But we have a lot of football to talk about. Before we get started, Mike, let them know who's powering this live stream.
This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over to betus.com. Use code YouTube150. You're going to get a 150% deposit match bonus on your first deposit. Then on your next two, you're going to get 125% deposit match bonuses. Those are up to $2,000, so take advantage of all the free plays. The site's easy to use. There's plenty of props on there. Go to betus.com. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you their way. Sorry, got a little choked up there over it. Such a good deal, Steve. I was crying. I was crying a little bit. Steve, like you said, it's almost Super Bowl. We got like 3 days. Super Bowl will be here in
Let's go.
4. I mean, like from the time people watch this, it'll be like 4 full 24-hour sessions, I guess. But not to get too technical here. Okay, we don't need to get too technical. But there's one thing I want to talk about today, and it's the media narrative and the babies that have come out of the wood. Like, they will not stop with this just complete BS narrative, to the fact that they've actually infiltrated the questioning in the Super Bowl. Steve, did you see any of that yesterday?
I did. So some slapnut actually used his media pass to go around and asking the Chiefs who their favorite ref was and all kinds of different stupid questions. The Chiefs derangement syndrome has gone to a new level, Mike. It's at new heights, and I don't see it coming back down anytime soon. They're just going to keep going. And there was no pun intended there. No pun intended. But these slapnuts are out of control. The fact of the matter is they don't care about football. They don't care about the rules of football. They don't care about what's right and wrong. All they know is they hate the effing Chiefs, and they were going to do anything to try to discredit them and cry about it. They're effing losers, Michael. They're losers.
Tell them how you really feel. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Like, how does the biggest game, the biggest sporting event in the world, just about, it's arguably, if not the biggest.
It is.
Okay?
Yeah.
How do these people even get press passes? I'm sure if me and you applied for a press pass, we get rejected in a heartbeat, but yet some ass clown can go in there and just make up questions like this. Check out this thing that this guy asked Travis Kelce here, and let me know how disrespectful this is.
Travis, what do you love more, Taylor Swift or phantom 15-yard roughing the passer penalties in the playoffs?
It's a good question. Anybody else?
Man,
they're pissed.
You can tell. You can see it in their face and their eyes. They are tired of this crap, dude.
Steve, but critics will say, "Oh, well, it's just funny. It's just funny. They're just having some fun." And the fact that Travis Kelce acted like that means there's some truth behind it, and they're trying to avoid it.
I think that we've been talking about all playoffs, after the Texans game. That's when all of this really started to fire up. But in the Bills game, we're like, what can you do to really shut everybody up? Just go out and beat the living hell out of the Bills, right? And there were opportunities to do that. I thought they could blow the Bills out. At one point, I really thought that they could start off, score a touchdown at the beginning of the second half and be up 28-10. I thought they could really blow them out and kind of get the refs out of it and just tell everybody to suck it, basically. They have to be to that point now to where they just want to go out and blow this one open in the Super Bowl. And talk about a national stage. This is going to be probably the most viewed game of all time. Now's the time.
I thought it was going to get boycotted.
That's BS too. Everyone knows that's not going to happen. You're not boycotting the Super Bowl. Or you could say you are, but you're still going to watch it. They hate them, but they watch them. That's the thing about it. But you're going to be on the biggest stage ever. So now go out and beat the hell out of the Eagles and just squash the whole narrative and be done with it. Tell everybody to suck it and go home with the Lombardi.
Yeah, I just think it's beyond disrespectful at this point. You even have the NFL. Roger Goodell was asked about it. Roger Goodell said it's preposterous to even talk about. It's this wild just conspiracy theory that just will not stop. Like it was brought on by losers and crybabies, and then losers and crybaby media that just wanted clicks. Adds fuel to the fire, and now it's just took on a whole new life of. It's just insane. Like it's killing the product of the NFL. And we talked about this weeks ago when this all started up. It's been going all season, but it's picked up a lot of steam since the beginning of the playoffs, to be honest, because people just wanted the Chiefs to lose. Surprise, surprise, they haven't. But it's one of those things where Goodell and them's got to do something. It's killing their product. It's killing their product. Even the officials had to come out and make it a statement. Like, hey, this is the most insane thing we've ever heard. Like, this just isn't true. I want to know this. I've seen a thing yesterday with Chris Sims. He was on Starcade Media. They got him on there, asked him about it. He said it was just plain stupidity because these officials and the way they write the rules every year, you've got rules that are so hard to interpret. They don't know what a holding call is. They don't know what a catch is anymore. They don't know what this is. They don't know what you have to get in. One toe, 1 foot, 1 elbow. Nobody, the officials half the time are confused. The fans watching it are confused, and that's why they're all like, Xavier Worthy didn't catch the ball. It touched the ground. Learn the rule. But they don't know the rule because half the officials don't know the rules. So it's just become this big cluster F of crap, okay? And he said it's ridiculous. These guys can't even get certain little calls like that right. But yet you think 150-plus officials can coordinate how to cheat for the Chiefs and keep it under wraps. So the entire league now writes a script. So the Eagles, the Texans, why are the Texans crying about refs if their GM is in on the script and he just says, hey, we'll take a lot of money if the Chiefs get the win? Like, they all have to agree on this. Or
they should be mad at him. Y'all should just be mad at your owners for selling out.
I just don't understand. Like, it's all the most stupid crap I've ever heard in my life.
It's literally a product, like I said the other day, Mike, it's a product of the freaking participation trophy generation. It's a bunch of crybabies that can't handle losing. They can't do it. So now they think everybody should get a turn because they don't like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And they're literally just throwing a tantrum.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I went to a sports bar the other day to watch a Kentucky basketball game. And there was a guy there. I consider him a friend. He said, man, I can't believe you wore that Chiefs crap in here. I'm like, you've known me for 5 years. I'm going to wear the Chiefs. And hello, I'm one of the Magnum Dong KOLs in this space. Shut up. And anyways, I was like, well, what do you expect me to do? Like, I'm not going to take off my Chiefs stuff because we keep winning more and y'all keep crying about it. This dude is a Cowboys fan. Hey, you can't tell me about anything. You're the most delusional fan base in the history of the world, okay?
Good Lord. Bro.
And back in the 90s when you guys were winning, I'm sure everybody said the refs cheated for you and Jerry Jones because you're America's team. But yet now you're doing it. And he said, well, I don't hate the Chiefs. I just want to see someone else win. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win. So he would much rather, being a Dallas fan, watch the arch rival Eagles win a Super Bowl than the Chiefs.
That's pretty wild, dude.
Get a dynasty. And we've only won now 3 over the last, 5 years or something like that. Like, it's not even like we've done this over and over, like 8 straight years or whatever. Like, Brady and them had done almost double of this. I get you probably getting pissed off if the Chiefs have won now. We're going into 2030 and the Chiefs have been the Super Bowl 7 straight years. I would probably get
hey, Mike, they're absolutely still going to be pissed when that happens.
Yeah, it's going to happen. But I almost fell out of my chair to hear a Dallas Cowboys fan that is so butthurt over the Chiefs' success tell me that they would rather see the Eagles win because
Mike, that's
it's
like
different.
Us rooting for the Raiders to win the Super Bowl. That is insane.
Yeah, I would rather see the Earth be taken over by aliens.
Yes.
And exploded into a billion pieces than watch the Raiders hoist a Lombardi.
Man, it's just funny. It goes to show you how far it's gone on people hating the Chiefs.
I think it also goes to show you how fair weather 99.9% of fans are.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't even. This is the same guy, and with all due respect, he's kind of a moron. I mean, I'll call him a friend, but he's kind of a moron, and he probably doesn't even know all the rules to the game.
I hope he's watching, just because.
I hope he is too.
You're a moron, bro. You're a moron. Mike's friend,
dude. If you had a Dallas shirt on, I mean, come on. That's a pretty big sign right there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say nothing. We already know what you're about. But no, it's just insane. It's getting ridiculous. And that's the thing about it. It's like, is there really anything the NFL or Roger Goodell can do about it? No. Is there anything anybody can do about it? No. But what you have to do is you have to just continue to go forward and keep doing your thing. So, I mean, whether they want to cry about it and throw tantrums or not, that's one thing. But the Chiefs can just keep winning. That's the best thing that they could possibly do to eventually shut everybody up, right? I mean, wouldn't this narrative get really, really old and these people look really stupid 5 years from now if the Chiefs have won 3, 4 more Super Bowls and they're still saying, man, it's just because the refs cheat for them? Like, at that point, it's just going to be like, shut the hell up.
How funny is it going to be
Mike
when the
Friend,
refs
shut
finally
up.
get tired of having this thrown on
Yeah.
them? And then maybe they're like, hey, you know what? You're going to accuse me of it? I'll do it. Just out of
Right?
spite. That's going to be funny. Somebody asked what happened with Mahomes. I've got the Mahomes clip, too. I'll play that one. Here we go.
Patrick, for your whole career, you have had so many great people help you win. So who is your favorite ref?
That's hilarious. No, all the refs are great, man. All the refs are great. They do the best they can. And we go out there and play the game the right way.
Is there one that you give a Christmas card to every year, possibly?
Not that I can remember. I'll have to talk to some of my teammates.
So I don't even want to watch the rest of it because that guy was that is some of the most pathetic attempt at humor I've ever seen.
It's pretty bad. And
He's literally just got a mic on it, just says sports.
did you notice a common theme there, Mike? If you watch Travis Kelce and watch Patrick Mahomes' reaction, they both have the same reaction. Do you know that reaction when you're so pissed off that you can feel your blood boiling and you're about to see black, but you have to laugh
Like
about
he was
it and
about
go
to hop
on?
over the podium and end his NFL
You have to
career
laugh
by
about it and go
drop
on
kicking
because
this dude.
you're an adult. You know, like that's exactly what I saw from both of those two. They're tired of this shit, bro.
That
They're
dude
done with
asking
it.
those questions gives off big time like loser cuck energy.
Little wiener vibes.
Like, dude, not only does he probably sleep on his mom's couch in the basement, I don't know how he pulled off a. You know, he couldn't afford a Super Bowl ticket, so I don't know how he got the media thing. Okay, so I have no idea, but this guy totally watches his girlfriend bang her boyfriend, and he's completely fine with it. Like that's the vibe he gives off. Like
Bro.
I'm tired of the loser mentality that America has adopted. Like nothing is the epitome of loser mentality like the whole world being united over crying about a fictional ref cheating scandal.
Right. It'd
Like,
be
think about
different if
that.
it was real, but it's been debunked over and over and
we've
over
been a country
again.
divided now for 15 years, the most polarizing there's ever been. And who would have thought that the only thing to get the crybabies together was to cry more? And it's worked.
Who would have thought? But you know what, Mike? It's fine. If you're a Chiefs fan, it's fine. Let them keep poking the bear. Because like I said, that's one thing I noticed with Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes there. That literally pissed them off to their core. And yeah, they had to act like adults because that's what they are. They're not big crybabies like the rest of these people. They have to go on and they have to try to make light of it or just move along like Kelsey did. But the fact of the matter is, they know that. You have to think, man. Not only do they hear this nonstop and they see it all over the internet all day long, scrolling on their phone, they're going to see this 8 times a day minimum.
You know, every single thing they post on social media has got 32,000 replies of.
But they get
Refs,
exactly.
refs.
But they get to the Super Bowl, and during the Super Bowl media day, you literally have this slapnut out there acting an ass. It's like they have to be just over it, bro. And I think that you use that to fuel yourself, and of course you stay level-headed and you stick to the game plan you execute. But I think they play balls to the wall, man. I would love to see them go out and just absolutely torch the Eagles. And sorry, Eagles, and maybe Eagles fans that aren't on the slapnut train, that you have to be the collateral damage. But I think this is what you do. I mean, I think that's the answer here. Literally, if these people want to cry and they want to be upset, give them a damn good reason for it. Like, just absolutely torch the Eagles on the biggest stage on earth.
That's what I'm hoping for. And that's what I think. In my opinion, the Chiefs have been gearing up all year to hit this level that you're going to need to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. and honestly, like, I want to respect the opponent. I want to respect the Eagles. They've had a good season. It's not been like epic. It's not been Chiefs-esque, right? They've not dealt with nowhere near the injuries we have. They didn't deal with 16 players going on the IR. They didn't deal with Jalen Hurts didn't deal with his number one running back. Like, what we lost this year is the equivalent of them losing Saquon Barkley for 8 games, like we lost Pacheco. They don't have A.J. Brown because we lost Marquise and we lost, Rashee Rice. I'm saying I'm not comparing the two players.
I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying, like, that's the equivalent. Jalen Hurts would not have survived. They would not have even been in the playoffs. Right. They could not have overcame what we've had to overcome. So it's ripe right now. The Chiefs are playing some of their best football. I think the offensive line's starting to gel. I think the defensive line's actually starting to get more healthy and get more consistent pressure. Absolutely. I believe some of our rookies on the back end, Jalen Watson coming back with a little bit. He's coming back. He's getting a little more healthy each week. I believe you're starting to see the Chiefs get back to pretty much as full power as they can get to, minus the whole Rashee Rice thing. I think you're starting to see it click a little bit on both sides. I think you're starting to see special teams turn it up a notch with Nico Remigio. And the Eagles are a little bit fraudulent because they've played one of the top 3 easiest schedules in all of football. And the Chiefs have played one of the top 10 hardest schedules. So this game is very ripe for the Chiefs to just come out and if a few things go their way. And I'm not talking about calls. I'm talking about maybe when Josh Allen fumbles the ball 5 times, it don't bounce right back in his hands.
Right.
If Jalen Watson fumbles, or not Jalen Watson, I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts fumbles the ball like he did in the first one and Nick Bolton scoops and scores it, if something like that happens this time, it can become like a runaway train scenario. I feel like the Chiefs are ripe and ready to just blow a team off the map right now.
Right, they haven't done it all season long.
And they probably won't. Let's be completely honest. It's probably going to be a one-score game. The Chiefs do this. This is how they win. It's their MO. I don't expect anything to be different, but I'm just saying if it did happen, I wouldn't be surprised. It's almost like this pressure cooker. It's been building. Right. And all these slap nuts that are getting in here and asking these stupid, idiotic questions. Did you see the one where Andy Reid gets asked a question? I don't know if it was today or yesterday. The dude asks him a question. He starts answering, and the reporter turns around and walks off while he's answering it. And he's like, that was a good question. I don't know why he's leaving. Like, these slap nuts have no idea
they're
why they're
just
even
disrespectful. They're just disrespectful. And I think the Chiefs are tired of being disrespected, and that's fine. Like I said, it gives them fuel.
Because they're not there to get actual... They're not there to get actual information to the people like a media source is supposed to be. All media wants to do in this country, and that's why they're all failing, except for us small guys. They're all failing because they want to push a narrative. That's it. They just want to push a narrative and something that gets clicks. That's it. Yeah. That dude didn't care what Andy Reid said. He had to ask the question that they told him to ask, and then he wasn't respectful enough to even get an answer from one of the greatest coaches to ever walk the planet.
Right. Well, if you ask Eagles fans, I did see a thing yesterday. Actually, 80% of Eagles fans that were asked think that Dick Sirianni is better than Andy Reid. They think he's a better coach.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now.
Get out of here.
Eagles fans are, in my opinion, every NFL fan is somewhat delusional. And they're all 99.9% homer. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, they're always just going to take what they got.
And I understand that part. But come on, use some common sense.
To be honest, I feel like the Chiefs are one of the more grounded fan bases. People will say we're this, we're that, we're everything. Well, guess what? At this time in history, we're allowed to say that we're the best across the board because you haven't beat us. So shut us up. I will say that some Chiefs fans are a little bit delusional when it comes to the fact that they think Andy Reid doesn't even try, and we're just practicing all year long until we get to the Super Bowl. Like, we don't even play in the AFC Championship game. That was a practice game.
Right.
Some of that's getting a bit absurd. I mean, come on. That's a little devaluing the situation a little much, in my opinion. It sounds a little cocky and arrogant. I get how that's construed.
Well, it's kind of stupid, right? I mean, obviously, it's not that easy. Yeah.
So you're going to have a subsection of all fan bases are going to be just flat out, just flat out idiotic. Yeah. But I feel like you see it a lot more. Like, if you're going to ask the Eagles if Nick Sirianni is a better coach than Andy Reid, and anybody with a straight face can answer that yes, like, I don't even know why you're allowed to even watch football.
I'll just throw this out there. The older people that were asked even in the Eagles
people
fan
with
base.
common sense.
Andy Reid.
What is the deal with the younger generation of kids out there? Like,
Participation
look, we don't have to put up with
trophies.
that really because our whole entire audience is literally like 30 plus.
Yeah.
And we talk about this all the time. I don't think anybody under the age of 30 is that hardcore into the Chiefs. I mean, they're out there, but most kids under 30, you know, are doing something different, not really paying attention. They don't really have families.
Chasing some butt.
Yeah, they're doing something, but they're not really obsessed with football. And I'm sure there are a few out there, and they found wherever, but the big majority's not. It's the people that are established in life, you know? So
It's weird though, but I think it just comes from a place. Well, you see it kind of coming to a head, and the thing about it is, like Travis Kelce asked the best question: like, why is the media buying into this stuff? Why are grown ass adults that know better buying into this and running with a narrative that's been started by that culture that you're talking about, Mike? These kids grew up with participation trophies. They grew up with the internet, being able to say whatever they want to somebody without getting punched in the mouth because they're hiding behind a keyboard and a screen.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to
Yeah.
pull. They're trying to pull cancel culture on the Chiefs because we've won. They're trying to cancel them effectively by saying refs and invalidating them. Right?
That's the only way to stop them.
This
They're
is the
trying
only.
to find
This
however
is the
they can
only
stop
thing they know nowadays.
It's getting sad, Mike. It's getting sad.
Hey, let them cry.
Yeah, cry about it. We don't care.
Maybe when they get chafed, they can get themselves some Mando.
Maybe they can. And speaking of, we appreciate you guys being here. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you haven't already. Especially hit that like button if you don't suffer from Chiefs derangement syndrome. And if you do, I suggest you call a hotline and get some help. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get to the chat, and we're also going to talk the Chiefs versus Eagles and actual football, not just a bunch of people that have lost their minds. So we'll be right back.
Oh yeah, right off the rip, I'm getting that leather and tobacco vibe and that bourbon vanilla. This stuff right here, straight fire, baby. You work hard, you play hard, and we know Chiefs Kingdom cheers hard. And when you do that, it's obvious you work up a little stank. I mean, come on, we're stinky humans who survive on barbecue and Patrick Mahomes highlights. But you don't always want to be at musty level 10. We don't. We're trying to smell nice. And for us, it's this right here, Mando, baby. You wake up, you shower, you start your day, but eventually you start to get a little, ripe. You catch a whiff and you just pray nobody else is offended by your stank bubble. You don't have to walk around smelling like Bigfoot's Grab yourself some Mando full body deodorant or some Mando whole body deodorant spray. They even have whole body deodorant cream. You have no reason to stink. We absolutely love Mando, and that's why we partnered with them to bring their goodness to you. Look, we're super big into fragrances and colognes, and this stuff smells fantastic. This is bourbon leather, and it smells incredible. There's so many reasons to love it. It's safe to use for your pits, to your balls, to your big old disgusting filthy feet. It was created by an actual doctor who wanted to stop the misdiagnosis and mistreatment of odors. Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. And no, that doesn't mean you can be a degenerate piece of and not shower for real. It helps with odor. It doesn't perform miracles. There's 4 scents. This bourbon leather here is fantastic. They also have Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport scent. Some sick individual actually ran a test where they sniffed several people's grundles 12 hours post-shower and documented the stink levels. The average odor was a 5 out of 10 just 12 hours after your shower. With Mando, those same sick perverts that sniffed them taints were now 0 of 10 level stank. Let's go. So do you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula? Of course you do. You can find them at Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com. You can pick up a Mando starter pack. It's absolutely perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and you get free shipping. Free shipping is huge. I've been known not to order $100 worth of stuff because I didn't want to pay $10 for shipping. But this is what I want to offer to the ACU crew because you guys are special. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack when using our code ACU to shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Mando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. And if you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund up to 60 days later. That's how confident Mando is that your balls won't stink. Go to shopmando.com and use code ACU to get 40% and free shipping off your Mando starter pack. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence head to toe with Mando. Thanks for Mando for sponsoring this video. We got some Mando action quite literally for that ass. Get it up in there. Those butt cheeks, baby.
Let's go,
Hey.
y'all. Don't be stinking out there.
Butt
Go
cheeks.
to shopmando.com.
Up in there.
All right, guys. We appreciate you being here. Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom.
Good
It's a
morning.
beautiful Wednesday morning. Mike, I turn 40 tomorrow, and that's depressing to
You
me.
do.
I'm officially an old
Is
man.
your family, like, is everybody, like, good? Like, I know
Yeah.
you guys have been battling sickness for weeks and months.
Yeah, everybody's good now,
Well, we're gonna have to have a birthday dinner soon.
We'll have to figure something out. We'll have to do something fun. I'm old, so we have to take all the sadness away. And you know what could take that sadness away? I think the Chiefs need to win a damn Super Bowl for me. I think that's what should happen. What do you
Hey,
think?
nothing better than a little eagle tears for the Super Bowl.
Let's go, baby. Shout out our boy Shane Boring, member for 16 months. He says, does D-Hop get his first Super Bowl touchdown? He's been laying low the last 2 games. I feel like he's going to blow up in the Super Bowl. Mike, what do you think about it? You think you could see the first DeAndre Hopkins Super Bowl touchdown? I think that's a good possibility, Shane.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Shane, first and foremost. Yeah, I think D-Hop could score. I think he could get in the end zone. I think D-Hop could have a pretty good day, to be honest. I'm not sure who his main matchup would be. I don't really feel like Darius Slay is going to shadow him or anything. I don't feel like anybody's going to shadow him.
No.
I feel like if he gets a matchup versus one of the rookies, maybe Quinyon Mitchell or something, like little veteran wily moves out there. Not saying Quinyon Mitchell's a bad corner by any means, but D-Hop's a different kind of guy. I seen footage of him where he brought his mom and his godmother on the field, and we all know his mom. She was attacked and blinded by some lady, and they threw acid in her face, which is the most insane story I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, they finally got there, and he was talking about that, and it was a cool moment to see. But he said he's going to wear his dad's mink jacket to the Super Bowl because he said he wanted to do that for him to wear at the Super Bowl when he gets married. So there's cool storylines there. I think this game means a lot to DeAndre Hopkins, and I think the Chiefs will recognize that, and they'll recognize the whole Kareem Hunt thing. And Andy and them like to play to that a little bit because you go to the guys that are the most motivated to win in those situations, and those two are going to be very motivated.
Absolutely, and that's a perfect segue to our next one. Kevin with the 2 bomb says, who on the Chiefs is the X Factor on Sunday? That's a great question, man. Last week, Mike, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, it's been a minute, when we beat the Bills' ass, whenever that was, we said that Xavier Worthy was going to be the X Factor, and he damn sure was. So who do you think it might be in the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to have to be a defensive guy. I think, honestly, it's going to have to be kind of the guy that stepped up last time. I think it may have to be like Nick Bolton. It's going to have to be somebody like that because you're going to have to be very stout versus the run. So Nick Bolton always shows up well versus, say, Derrick Henry and those kind of guys. You're going to have to show up against Saquon Barkley. You guys can't miss tackles. So I believe he's going to have to do that. You're all going to have to stifle that. And, you know, if Spags calls a blitz, and it's not an if, it's when, and it's very often, you're going to have to get to the quarterback. You've got to play your lanes properly, and you can't give up those long third downs. So you got to be better in coverage. I think, honestly, it's somebody like a Nick Bolton, in my opinion. Now, if you want to go offensively, I think it could very well be Kareem Hunt, in my opinion, somebody like that. Or maybe even Pacheco in a way. You've not seen Pacheco really, like, stand out since he's come back. He had that one where he just chunked off a long run that time.
Right.
He's been quiet, but I could see it like all week long. It's been Barkley. They even asked him who his top 3 running backs were, and of course he didn't say Pacheco. I don't think Pacheco expected him to say Pacheco.
Right.
But I feel like that eats at you a little bit, that all week long the other team's running backs get in the spotlight. Maybe Pacheco cranks off a few and flips the field or does something like that, that could be big for us because I believe the Chiefs do have to rely on the running game a little bit more than Andy wants to, per se. But I think you may have to because I feel like the Eagles are really going to come out and just play a lot of ball control. So I feel like you counter ball control kind of with ball control in a way.
Right. Speaking of cranking off a few, the Chiefs haters are absolutely horny over Saquon Barkley right now. I get it. Saquon Barkley is a damn good football player. He's had a great year, historic year, but they're acting like he's just unstoppable and that there's no way that the Chiefs could possibly beat the Eagles because of Saquon Barkley. Well, I got another thing for you, okay? I don't think Saquon's going to be their X factor. We'll have to wait and see. But I think the Chiefs X factor, Mike, for them to win the Super Bowl, it's the obvious. It has to be Patrick Mahomes. I think it all runs through him. He's got to make good decisions. He's got to make the plays when he needs them. He's got to use his legs when he needs to do that. He's got to make throws. He's had trouble this year with his touch and making good throws. He can't have that in the Super Bowl. You can't squander opportunities. And I think that he's got to have a huge day. I really do. And like I said, Patrick Mahomes, he's a different beast in the playoffs. He's a different beast in the Super Bowl. And I think it's got to be that same thing, man. I think he's really got to take the game over. And I just think if the Chiefs want to win, it's got to go through Patty.
Well, I feel like Pat, Kelsey, I feel like Chris Jones, those three guys, you can just count on them to have a day. I honestly feel like if you get to the end of the Super Bowl and there's 2 minutes left in the game, any of those three guys could be having the worst game of their life, but they're going to make a play when it counts.
Absolutely. That's what this
in
team
my opinion.
does.
So I feel like those three guys as X factors are just like built in. Like this team isn't where they are if those three aren't playing. So, you know, I understand the sentiment though. Like Patrick's got to. I think to your point, I think it's just more of an execution thing.
Yeah.
Like I want to see him execute at a little bit higher level, and that's not necessarily always on Pat. So maybe a good X factor for the game could be the Jawan Taylor matchup, the Joe Tooney matchup.
Right.
Just keeping the pressure off Mahomes.
I think a lot of times people don't consider that the run game kind of hinges on Patrick Mahomes too in a couple different ways. If he's out there making throws, making plays, and then it kind of opens up the run game. But also a lot of our run calls are RPOs. So it's literally Patrick Mahomes reading the defense and making the right call to hand the ball off. So, I mean, he plays a huge part in every freaking aspect of that offense. So I just think he has to have a killer day. He's got to show up. He's got to be Showtime Mahomes, baby. It's time for it. Hopefully we see the Grim Reaper come out because, I mean, he's a little pissed off. Peter Ortiz with a 2-bomb says D-Hop, Kareem Hunt, and Travis Kelce will all see the end zone. Would love to see that and more. And more. Mike, you said if we put up 30-plus points, it's a wrap.
I think so.
We said that in the AFC Championship game, and that happened to be it. That worked. But D-Hop, I think D-Hop could see the end zone. It really depends. He is a massive weapon in the red zone. And we haven't used them that much. But when we first got him, that's kind of what we were using them for in the red zone packages. And he had a couple touchdowns early on. I think we could definitely see that. Of course, Kareem Hunt, he's going to get one. He's going to get one. And then Kelce, I think he'll be there too. I mean, he's with Taylor Swift. They're not going to let the Super Bowl go by without Taylor Swift's boyfriend scoring a touchdown. So if the refs have to get together and have a little meeting and figure out how they can have Travis Kelce get open,
writers have already scripted that,
right? Like these refs have to figure out how they can get Travis Kelce open, whether it's set a pick or something like that, and then Patrick Mahomes, he has to throw a perfect ball, right? So the refs will do what they got to do to make sure it happens. So I'm not worried about that, you know. I think Travis Kelce's definitely going to get
the refs, you know how there's like a 5-second delay on like live games? Do you think they'll start implementing referees wearing green so they can literally like move the ball around and then they can edit them out of the footage on the 5-second delay so it just looks like the ball's floating into the hands of different people?
Mike, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, doesn't it?
It's crazy, but
that's the freaking sad part. That's how freaking stupid you morons sound. You've lost your damn mind. You're slap nuts, and we're tired of your shit. You sound stupid. Go away. All right, baby. Just had to get that out.
I was going to say, you had to get that one off your chest here at 11:37 in the morning, 10:37 on the
It felt good,
Central
too,
Time.
Mike. It felt good. Now I'm hearing a little train a-rolling, man. We got Peter Ortiz with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's go, Peter. Peter's a legend. Peter changed his picture up on us. We don't get to see Peter's beautiful face anymore. Now we got a little. Is that a gecko?
It's a frog of some sort. It's
Or a frog?
Maybe. Maybe it's Mahomes.
I like it. I like it, Peter. Appreciate that,
How
man.
many times too? Like going back to the Super Bowl thing, I didn't even hardly watch any media because to me the Chiefs have been here now 3 times. I feel like they've been asked the same questions 3 years. Like every time they go, it's the same questions. There's always going to be the token, give us a Kermit the Frog impersonation. Like, can you guys come up with
Get some
anything
new material,
differently?
guys.
Yeah, get some new material. It's sad. Mahomes is like, well, this is me talking. That's my impression. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, they handle it the best they can, but the slap nut in that room is just on level 100.
It's bad. You know it's bad when their material's so old. You're more likely to hear something about that than us make a wiener joke. And that's sad.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of those dumb jokes.
We are immature. I'm talking about turning 40 years old and being a full-grown adult.
You're only as old as your mind, you know? And in my mind, barely turned like 13.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Peter, though. Peter's a freaking legend. If you guys got one of those memberships, make sure to thank him in the chat. If you're a member, we're going to have some extra members-only live stream or members-only stuff this month, and we'll also have the members-only live stream. Casey Moe just won a beautiful signed Jason Watson jersey.
Jalen Watson.
So let's go. Shout out Casey Moe. And thanks, Peter. Also, we got Chief KT with the 2 bombs. Says this ref stuff has to annoy the team to the max. That's my point, man. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, when you watch that clip as a fan, it still annoys you. It's like, are you really harassing our quarterback? Are you harassing, Travis Kelce? Just to the point, it's almost irritates you to watch it, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it irritates us to watch it, can you imagine what the rest of the team thinks when they see it? Like, that has to make their blood boil.
I said this to even someone yesterday. They're like, well, how come they just didn't laugh about it and go on and this and that? And I'm like, because at some point, it's old. And it's one of these things where it's like, these guys are on the biggest stage about to make history. And all your questioning and all this narrative and even the media jumping in on it, you guys are devaluing everything they've worked their entire lives for, and you guys just want them to make a joke out of it. Like,
Yeah.
what if I go to your job? Like,
Right.
how many
At
times
the
does
peak.
this happen? This
Like-
is just, this is honestly nothing more than the world, this entire woke world we live in, where, they'll tell you all day long, don't bully people, don't bully. But the entire world is bullying these guys for no reason. Because what if I go to your job and all day long, I'm just telling you that all day that you don't even deserve to be there and you're a degenerate piece of shit. And over, like at some point you're going to get a little irritated. You're going to want to punch me in the mouth, right?
Right.
And I feel like that's where we're at.
It's
And these
disrespectful.
guys work harder than most people because at your job, you usually put in a 9 to 5 and you go home. You may work overtime, and I get it. It's tough out there. These guys make a lot of money, but these dudes are going 24/7, 365 half the time. They get like 2 weeks of vacation, and otherwise he's with Bobby Stroop in the lab somewhere lifting weights 20 hours a day. Like, it's one of these things where it's like, you got to get old. It's got to be old, man.
Yeah. I think they're going to take it out on somebody. And like I said, the Eagles could be collateral damage.
I hope so. I feel like it's like Mount Vesuvius
Right.
getting ready to erupt.
Well,
Like it's coming to a head.
We have to talk about it because it's literally the main theme of the entire freaking
I know
Super Bowl.
people's like, just ignore it. Just go
I'm
on.
I'm
It's like,
tired of talking about it too. So let's move on. Let's just talk about the game a little bit, Mike. I appreciate the 2, Chief KT. I've been thinking about it, like some different matchups to watch and stuff like that. And I think one that is kind of not been talked about enough. We got a guy on the team that might not be here next year, and he's got a huge job to do. This could be his last game as a Chief at the summit of football.
me, I guess. Who
Yeah,
you're
go
speaking
ahead,
of.
man.
Are you talking about Justin Reed?
No, I'm talking about Trey Smith.
Oh, good one.
He's got a huge job to do. With that defensive line, Jalen Carter has been an absolute monster.
Well, all week long they've said that Trey Smith couldn't stop Jalen Carter.
That's what I'm saying, man. And he's got a huge job to do. It's not going to be easy, but Trey Smith, I think, is up to the task. And I think Trey Smith, as well as anybody, can use a lot of that fuel to get pissed off and bully people back. And we've seen it over and over and over again. I would love to see Trey Smith take that out on Jalen Carter, throw him around a little bit, be violent with him, be disgusting, be mean, do what Trey Smith does, and just absolutely take over the trenches. I think that's a huge one, man. So I really want to keep my eye on Trey Smith. There's been a couple games where he's not played up to his normal standard, and a lot of people have called it out and said things about it. I don't think there's anything to that. I think everybody has a bad day from time to time. Trey Smith is a monster. He is a beast. We're going to see that in the offseason when somebody pays him a boatload of money. But I think this is huge for him. You're getting ready to go into your freaking free agency, and you have a chance on the biggest spotlight in the biggest game
to beat up on one of the biggest defensive tackles.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can go out there and make yourself a lot of money.
Yeah, this game goes a long way. You get dominated by Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
And people probably don't want to pay you as much money
because all eyes are on him that much money. He just got his ass whooped. That's not going to happen.
But if you go out there and destroy Jalen Carter for 60 minutes, it's going to be tough to not maybe even reset the market at the right guard position. Wouldn't that be sweet? It probably will happen in KC, though, and that's what makes me sad.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But that's one matchup that I really have been thinking about. What about you guys? Get in the chat and let us know a big matchup that you guys are ready to see in the Super Bowl, and maybe we can discuss that.
My matchup is for the week.
What you got?
My matchup is Joe Burrow versus the couch. Wouldn't be Super Bowl week if we didn't have to take a shot at the Bengals for being at home, huh?
Man.
Because somehow this is all about the Bengals.
They're probably the ringleaders of this ref stuff, to be honest.
I mean, they've been crying since week 2. The whole AFC North might be responsible for this. They're even trying to say that the guy's toe wasn't out of bounds in week 1 now.
Well, let's get over it, guys. Let's get over it. Perry with a 20 bomb. I can't read that.
Hey,
Mike,
you want me to try?
Yeah.
Laissez le bon temps rouler. I don't know what that means, but Perry is from Texas. And I don't know why he would be speaking French like this. Laissez compétent.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. The girl from
Home Alone.
Kevin McAllister.
Home Alone, baby. He says going full hornt. Maybe that's what that means, going full hornt.
Wasn't there a Friday Night Lights? Wasn't one of the teams I don't know how that's pronounced, but
I don't know,
thought
man.
One of those teams were like that.
Well, either way, the sentiment's there. Appreciate the 20 bomb, Perry. Y'all put some legendaries in the chat for Perry. But also, I'm going full horn for this one. Everybody's going to go full horn. We need to. Even the Chiefs, they need to go full horn. But I also want to see at least one piss missile from Pat. I would love to see a freaking 60-yard bomb from Pat to Xavier Worthy in the Super Bowl. I would like to see it on the first drive, get things started the right way. I mean, we are indoors. We're on the turf. We got all the speed. Let's do it.
Yeah. Just let the good times roll, baby. That's what it means.
Let the good times
roll.
Appreciate it, 20, Perry. Is that really what it means? Did you figure it out?
Yeah, let the
use
good
the old
times
Google
roll.
Translate.
Google Translate.
If I had my Meta glasses on right now, Mike, I could ask it to tell me, and it would tell me what that said. But I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't. Peter Ortiz with the 5 bomb, and that was your chance to sponsor an episode, Meta. Peter Ortiz.
I don't want him.
With a 5 bomb.
I don't even want him.
Which KC defensive player will pick the ball? Who's going to get an interception, Mike? You think a little Trent McDuffie action? Little Jalen Watson.
I feel like Trent went through his slump, and then he had like 2 weeks of happiness, and then now he's just back to being shut down. I think it could be somebody random. I think it may be like a safety, like an overthrown ball.
Yeah.
You may see like Brian Cook.
Somebody random.
Jaden
Hicks would be a good one.
Justin Reed. One of those guys, maybe an overthrown ball. Brian Cook had 2 chances to intercept Josh Allen in the first series.
He looked like damn Kadarius Toney out there.
Yeah, what? Him and Kadarius Toney get together in the offseason and work on dropping the ball?
It was kind of crazy.
It was like a special skill.
Literally, I had my brain hadn't registered how he dropped the first one by the time he dropped the second one.
I don't think he did either. we know why he's playing safety and not wide receiver. We get
No
it.
kidding. Appreciate the 5 bomb, Peter. Thanks for
He
showing
went
out,
to
my man.
Kadarius Toney's School of Hands.
I'll give a pick to, you know what I want to see? I think we'll see a interception by a linebacker because of a batted ball. I think a little George Karlaftis or
Yeah.
Chris Jones batted ball, Nick Bolton maybe, Drew Tranquil, somebody comes up with that ball there, man. That's what I
pretty sick.
think. I think we could see that.
I think Nick Bolton's got to have a big game too. For all the reasons we said that Trey Smith needs to do it, Nick Bolton kind of needs to do it as well.
Yeah.
Because Nick Bolton is somewhere, I want to say like PFF has him rated like 25th highest free agent coming out on the market or something like that. It may be a little higher. I may be short selling him a little bit, but if he wants to make a lot of money on the market, which a lot of people think he could and a lot of people don't, like he's very polarizing, even within Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah.
But I think it starts with this game. Like, I don't think Nick Bolton's had the best postseason he's ever had here. I think it's been very average. I think he's got to go above and beyond. He's almost got to pull out another Eagles Super Bowl from years past. Get after the quarterback, create some turnovers, do some things, and be a disruptor. I think that helps Nick Bolton go a long way with staying with the Chiefs, to be honest.
For sure, man. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of defensive scheme Spags comes up with for this one. So can't wait to see that. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys have been awesome today. Do us a favor, hit that like button if you haven't already. We're going to be around for a little while longer this morning talking Chiefs football. So if you're just coming in, we were whining about the Chiefs haters earlier.
The whiners.
Yeah, we were whining about the whiners. We were talking about how much we hated it and how much the Chiefs probably hate it. And then we also talked about a couple key matchups in the game. But we got a lot more to talk about and a lot more chat to get to. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Today's show is sponsored by Manta Sleep Mask. You got to check this out. We weren't big believers in sleep masks. I thought they were going to be too big, too hot, too bulky. But Manta Sleep Mask changed that perception for me. These sleep masks are so comfortable. You can change the cup around your eye and find a custom fit. That way the mask finds your comfortability. With these pillows around your eyes, you feel zero pressure. And with a 100% blackout technology, you can go to sleep anytime, day or night, no matter how erratic your sleep schedule is. You can go with the sound mask, the pro mask, the silk mask, or just the sleep mask. You should go check out their website by clicking the link we have provided for you in the description below and read up on which option sounds best for you. But regardless of which mask you choose, use our code ACU10 at checkout and receive a 10% discount that we have secured through Manta Sleep for you, Chiefs Kingdom. Again, go to the description, find the link, find the mask you want to try out, use code ACU10 and get yourself some of the best sleep you've ever had in preparation of this long football season.
Let's go, baby. Get down in that description and check out Manta Sleep. Mike, we got a freaking 10 bomb from our boy Horned Up, baby.
Let's go.
He's horned up. You're horned up. I'm horned up. Everybody's horned up. It's Super Bowl week. Chiefs are going for history, baby, with a three-peat. He says Jalen Carter is immature. He takes plays off. That whole team can come unglued. Anderson's pressure. Second-rate coaching. Man, I've noticed that too. They will do that from time to time. I think that's something that a lot of people think that the Eagles are going to try to do to the Chiefs. Just run the ball down their throat and like kind of just control the game, control the pace of the game, wear their defense out, keep Mahomes off the field. I think we could maybe reverse it, flip the script on them. I think maybe we could have Kareem Hunt just make their day miserable. And that's definitely a possibility. So definitely seeing what you're talking about, horned up, and it's something that the Chiefs could look into. I think just wearing that defense down a little bit could go a long way. What do you think, Mike?
Oh yeah, I agree. I think you gotta wear that defense down, and I believe Andy's got to commit more to the running game. I think what would be fun to see more. The Eagles are very aggressive on defense. In my opinion, Vic Fangio, we know how he is. He's pretty aggressive. Mahomes has never lost to him. I don't think that's a lot of Vic Fangio just on him.
Could be something to it, though. Could be something to it.
Yeah, it's the style. So when you blitz Mahomes a lot, Mahomes is going to beat you. That's why if we don't get home on blitzes, they tend to eat us up. If we're sitting in weird zones, quarterbacks.
A good quarterback can definitely take advantage of that.
Right. I think what I'd like to see a lot implemented here that could probably beat up on an aggressive defense, and this is just complete football knowledge. How about you run a few more plays out of the backfield, like running back screens, wide receiver screens, like little delayed kind of things like that.
You could see a little Samaje Perine action.
Right. You may see a lot of Perine in some of these roles, but I think Pacheco can do that, and Kareem Hunt can do that. We've seen Kareem Hunt in Kansas City kill teams with his receiving ability. I would love to see that because I feel like that's one thing out of the running back position that we've missed this year by not having McKinnon. And I don't feel like any of the guys in the backfield couldn't do the role McKinnon did. We just kind of got away from it.
Right. I definitely think that could be effective. We'll have to see how much pressure they're bringing. If they are blitzing, I think that's definitely something that we could see. It's got to be a wrinkle that Andy Reid will have in that game plan. So we'll just have to see. I haven't watched enough of the Eagles tape to know what their blitz rate is and stuff like that. Maybe that's something we could look up real quick and maybe get an idea of.
Yeah, I'll find it for you.
But that's definitely something that they could look into. And I'm with you, Mike. They haven't really utilized the running backs in the passing game that much this year. Now, when they needed big plays, sometimes they've gone to that. We just saw that in the AFC Championship game. Got that first down from Samaje Perine to wrap that up. But yeah, definitely that's something that they could look into doing. Nate with the 10 bomb says sending out a shout to big play Nick Bolton. When you need a defensive home run, 32 is the man you call. Have no doubts. He shines best when the lights are the brightest. I think Nick Bolton is an underappreciated Chief. I think there's a lot of Chiefs Kingdom that thinks he's expendable, that we don't need him. We don't need to re-sign him. He's not as good as everybody acts like he is. Nick Bolton is the man. There's a reason why he's a team captain. There's a reason why he's that green dot. There's a reason why Spags depends on him so much and put so much trust in him. It's because he's a damn good football player. And I'm with you. I think usually when the lights are the brightest, that's when Nick Bolton likes to come out. And it's kind of that way with the Chiefs in general. So hopefully that trend stays true, man. Because like you said, Mike, I think Nick Bolton needs to have a big day. I think he's very integral to what they can do to stop this Eagles offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nick Bolton's got to be a man amongst boys inside of that tackle box, in my opinion. Like it's on him to set the tone. If you do not want the Eagles to just rush all over you all day, it starts with your Mike. Like the middle linebacker's got to stop it. Nick Bolton's got to be there early and often, and he's got to put the whooping on him a little bit. Like make him think twice about coming in and hitting holes and things like that. So it's really Nick Bolton's show, in my opinion. I think when Nick Bolton plays to a different level, our defense looks better. Like it's always looked like that. When Nick Bolton plays at a high level, our defense always tends to look better, and it's because of the fact that he's the quarterback of the defense. Spags trusts him. He's the green dot. He's everything. Spags will be a big reason if we re-sign him. Spags will be a big reason he re-signed. Not the talking heads on X that don't like him. Like Spags is gonna have the weighted opinion there.
Right. They won't go to X to see which Chiefs person doesn't like him. I don't know. We'll see about that. Appreciate the 10, Nate. Horned up with the 5 bomb says under pressure, not Anderson's pressure, is what he's trying to say. See previous typo, autocorrect hates him. Here's the thing, man. I think at this point it's not autocorrect. I think you're just messing with me because you like to see me struggle reading the comment. I think you're laughing at me.
Maybe.
Horned up. Is that what it is? Just a little bit of ribbing. Is that what they call it? A little joshing around. Appreciate you, horned up. Shane with the 2 bomb says Bolton versus Derrick Henry highlights get me so horned up. Hey, Nick Bolton, he can stop a run. And we're going to need him. We're going to need him. I think it's a huge, huge piece to this game. Like I said, all the Chiefs derangement syndrome people out there, Saquon Barkley is their favorite player of all time right now. He's their saving grace. He's everything to them.
Him and Jalen Hurts and Jalen Carter, and that's like their Fab Five. That they think that's going to take down the Chiefs in this just horrible dynasty.
It's fraudulent.
This fraudulent.
Well, no, that's the thing. If they really think that, and they really think the rest help the Chiefs, then why do they even care? Why do they even watch it? Because it's just predetermined, right? So the Chiefs already won the Super Bowl, so just go on about your business.
Yeah, it's wild. It's kind of like we all know from a young age that like WWE is scripted. It's fake.
So ridiculous.
So imagine watching it every single week, still believing that it's real in your heart of hearts.
Right.
and then crying about the outcome feeling fake.
Everyone knows if it's real, Jey Uso wouldn't have won the Royal Rumble. Okay.
I didn't know. Spoiler alert! I didn't even know he won that.
Oh, sorry.
I was going
You're
for
a little
Logan
behind.
Paul.
You're a little behind.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not paying to watch a Royal Rumble. I can
It's
barely
free.
get to the episodes
Just
on
go
Netflix.
to. I think it's like Paramount has it or
Oh, really?
Peacock or something.
I'll have
yeah.
to do that later. But yeah, I can't even hardly watch the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's so bad compared to like our generation.
Yeah, it does kind of bum you out when you think about like 90s wrestling.
It's so bad. Steve, we've been talking about the game. Do you got any more super chats to get to?
I do, absolutely.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Got a 5-bomb from Horned Up. He says, boys, I tried your Mando stuff. My balls ain't sweaty no more. Let's go. Hey, I know that you guys hate sitting through ads sometimes, but we do appreciate you doing so and still sticking around watching the show because your boys got to stay afloat somehow. And it's nice that the channel has gotten to a place to where we can do that. And we're almost both full time. Almost. We're almost there. So we're getting where we need to go. And we appreciate you guys doing that and trying out the stuff or whatever. That helps us too, because that makes these sponsors be like, oh, I like these guys. We'll get them again. So appreciate you guys. And you don't have sweaty balls and you don't stink. Ain't that right, Horned Up?
Yep.
He has another 5-bomb, back-to-back 5-bombs. Let's go. He says, isn't Birdie's O-line soft in the middle? They might run off tackle. They are having some issues in the middle there. Landon Dickerson battling through an injury. He's going to be playing, and I'm sure he'll play at a high level, but he's also battling through some injury, so we don't know how healthy he is. So, yeah, they're a little soft in the middle there. So I think you're right. If they're running off tackle, Mike, you think it's still up to Nick Bolton? What do you think needs to happen? I think a big key is just our guys, especially our secondary, not missing tackles. Because if they get through the initial line there, and we cannot have missed tackles against Saquon Barkley. We can't be the team that lets them score 60, 70-yard touchdowns. Yeah. If you're going to give them that kind of ridiculous play over and over again, there's no way you win. And we saw that with Washington. They got blown off the field.
Yeah, to beat a running team, it's got to be your linebackers. Linebackers beat running teams. You can clog gaps in the middle, but think about it. We run 4 down defensive linemen. There's automatically a one-man disadvantage there because the offensive line always has 5, and they'll usually have a tight end on the line that's blocking, and sometimes they'll have a fullback in the backfield, and then they'll have a wide receiver come down, and you never know, but you're always at a disadvantage. Linebackers are clean relatively until somebody gets to the second level, which means linebackers have to see it, shed it, and go make a tackle. You can't miss. And then if, God forbid, they miss the tackle, it's on Brian Cook and all them in the back end, Justin Reed. You cannot – you're the last line of defense.
Right.
You've got to stop it. You got to prevent them from chunking off big runs. I believe if you prevent Philly from coming out and chunking off 20-yard runs, say, for example, they come out and run the ball 10, 15 times, and the most they get's 5 to 6 yards on a carry, and they only done that, say, maybe 3 times. I believe they kind of panic a little bit and they'll go away from it.
Right. If you can shut down Saquon Barkley, like
early,
yes.
I believe they panic a little bit. Especially the Chiefs are putting points on the board ourselves, or we're running the game, and it looks like our trenches are starting to dominate.
Yeah,
I think that's where the Eagles start to panic a little bit.
Well, very much so. I think that the Chiefs need to go out and play this game from ahead. I think if they can get on the board early,
it's starting to look like it's not an advantage anymore.
Yeah.
Well, now it's on old Dick Sirianni to see what he can do, and
it's also on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, something tells me I don't want to really rely on Hurts in his arm.
Let's go, baby. Flip with the 5 bombs. Says any great defensive coordinator knows having a solid and dependable linebacker that does his job is the true foundation to a great defense. It helps set everyone up. That's true, and that's what Nick Bolton does. I think you don't get enough credit for that. That's what I was saying earlier. Nick Bolton is the quarterback of the defense. He's doing his thing, and he does a damn good job of it. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's on a team, Mike, that's just winning a lot of Super Bowls. They're winning a lot, and a lot of times it's been because of their defense, and he's running that bad boy out there. So, I mean, that's hard to downplay him. I don't know how people do it so easily. It's weird.
Here's my thing. I think a lot of our defense, even like McDuffie, you heard him the other day, Spags has taught McDuffie how to play football. Like, he's not just a corner. He is now a football player that understands why Spags calls things, why Spags puts them in certain situations, why he'll blitz here, why he won't blitz here. He's understanding it. And I believe that's what Spags does across the board. Every player on that defense, because you know Chris Jones knows it. You know Justin Reed's smart enough to get it. I think every one of those guys are smart enough to understand that. And maybe some of the guys that struggle a little bit from time to time, like Najee and stuff, they're just younger, more inexperienced, and they haven't got to that level yet. And that's why sometimes you'll see them out of position. But I do believe that everybody on this defense is capable of being a green dot in a pinch situation, in my opinion. I believe Spags just runs a very tight ship like that. And not taking nothing away from Nick Bolton, but I just think Nick Bolton is good, and he powers that. But at the same time, I believe any player out there, if need be, can get people in the right position. But linebackers have to do it. They're in the middle of the field. They see everything. You know what I mean? That's your green dot usually.
Right. I saw an interview with Tyrann Mathieu, the old honey badger. If y'all didn't get a chance to see it, y'all should watch that. He was at the Super Bowl thing. And he actually said that one big advantage for the Chiefs is because people keep passing up on Spags for a head coaching position, and they keep going after these 30-year-old guys. And he said, so Spags has been able to stay at Kansas City and literally build and mold his defense. Yeah. He's raising these kids, as he was saying.
Nobody is poaching our coordinators at all.
Absolutely. So he's getting these players young, and he's teaching them exactly how he wants them to play football. And it's
the
it's
fact
working.
that nobody even hired, at least to this point, I've not heard anything. You've not even had a coaching offer or an interview with a guy like Joe Cullen.
Yeah,
or
it's
Dave
insane.
Merritt.
It's insane when you have a dynasty.
It's pretty wild.
A team in the middle of a dynasty and no one's trying to poach their coaches.
That's on them. Dave Merritt and Cullen for defensive coordinator jobs at some point.
That's
and
on
the
them
fact
for
that
being
they don't
dumb.
even get talked about.
Yeah,
is wild.
Just shows you how dumb other organizations can be. That's all. Peter Ortiz with a 25 bomb. Let's go, baby. Y'all put some legendaries in the chat for Peter. He says Casey has a perfect record against #1 pass defense in the playoffs. Also, defensive coordinator for Eagles, chokes against Andy. And if Casey gets an early lead, they could run the ball at will. I think getting an early lead is critical. Like last time they played the Eagles, they played from behind. I don't want to see that. You don't want to see that this time. Last time they didn't have Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, it gave you a little bit of leeway. But if you let the Eagles get ahead and you're trying to play from behind, you got to be perfect at that point. Because when they get the ball, they're going to be trying to hold it as long as possible. I think the Chiefs got to get in front. They got to make Jalen Hurts throw the football. And I just think it opens up a lot of stuff for the Chiefs. Like Peter said here, I think if they get into a lead, that's where Kareem Hunt can come into effect and Isaiah Pacheco can come into effect and really just lock this game up.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs' offensive line, honestly, they've got more and more stable now that Joe Thuney has moved out to the left side.
Absolutely.
And Mike Caliendo's actually been pretty decent.
Shout out to all those DJ Humphreys guys that thought he should be starting.
But anyway, I do believe that this offensive line has a chance that if they feel themselves just a little bit, get a little confidence, they can flat out bully teams. It's a pretty good offensive line. They could control the trenches pretty good. And that's versus, a Montrez Sweat and a Jalen Carter and all these other guys.
Right.
They can do it. They really could. I don't think there's anything behind that, that I wouldn't doubt them. Let's put it that way. If you give them a chance to say, hey, let's go out and grind it out here, let's go do it, I trust Joe Thuney and Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith.
Absolutely, man. Peter Ortiz making a lot of noise here, baby. Got a train rolling in, 5 gifted memberships. Let's go, Peter. You guys show Peter some love in the chat. He's showing out today. Peter's always supporting the channel.
Peter's got something special coming in the mail too here in a few days.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting it ready to get it packaged. I'm actually having something customized for Peter.
Nice.
So,
I thought maybe you were sending him an old dick pic in the mail.
Anybody that shows support like Pete supports us, we give back.
You have to, man. You have to.
Got to support the supporters, man.
What a legend. If y'all get those memberships, make sure to thank Peter in the chat. And also just show him some love for being freaking awesome.
Steve, before we head out today, can I bring up something we're all talking about?
Let's do it.
We're going to talk about on Friday a little bit of the, we're going to get into score predictions, things like that. But there's one prop. There's one prop I wanted to talk about. John Batiste from New Orleans is going to be singing the national anthem. Okay. The over-under is 120.5 seconds. Are you going to take the over or the under on the John Batiste national anthem? Because this is fun to do every year. This is what gets your streaks winning and losing before you even get to the coin toss. This is a good bet to take.
I've taken over on that. Bring up that picture of Mr. Baptiste there. He's all about that spotlight.
The
baby.
Grammy
You don't
Award
rock.
winning.
You don't rock that haircut with that chain if you don't want all eyes on you.
Hey.
He's gonna soak in his moment, and he's gonna be out there and he's gonna milk it. He's gonna milk that bad boy like these Chiefs derangement syndrome people milk their mother's titty. Okay, that's what he's gonna do, and it's going over. It's
You
going
can find
over.
him on TikTok at a piano, and he'll try to play things by ear. Like, this dude is an incredible musician. I'm actually going to take the under. I don't think he'll suck up all the attention like you're saying. I think he'll go opposite. To me, he seems
That
a little
haircut
shy.
says otherwise. We'll see.
We
about
get our
it.
first battle on the opening. I think it'll go under 2 minutes. That's a minute. That's 120 seconds. 2 minutes. He's not singing "Drop
Right.
It Like It's Hot" or nothing.
He's gonna hold a couple of them notes.
Don't hold it. I
Oh
hope you
yeah,
don't take the blue chew before he gets going. He'll
you're
never
gonna go
be
crazy.
able to release.
Brian, I'm not ignoring your question, but I don't see it, man. You're gonna have to re-ask it. We'll get to it. I'm struggling with it today. There's a lot of comments in there. Let's see here, Mike. We got a 5 bomb from Micah Wolf. What's up, Micah? He says, "Can I get Mike on a reverbed cover of Let Her Cry by Hootie?" Goes out to all the slap nuts. Mike, I mean, he asked for it.
Let her cry. If the sun comes up tomorrow, let it be here. I don't know the words. I don't listen to Hootie. I'm not a big Hootie guy.
Can you just make up some Chiefs derangement syndrome lyrics? And
I mean, I'll think about it. I might just write a whole song, perform it one day.
who's that weird dude that only does weird fake country songs for the Chiefs, but everybody watches it?
I don't even know his name. I think I ran across him the other day, and I was like, "How's this guy just survive off this?"
He's the king of cringe, and it works for him.
Works, I guess.
Maybe you should just have to come out with your own song, Michael. That's what it is.
Might.
Casey Line Squad with the 2 bombs has sent y'all a funny pic on X. Feel free to share. Let's freaking go. Mike, check that out. I'm going to see if I could see Brian's.
Yeah, find Brian's comment.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Brian's messing with me. It's early. I'm still sleepy. And Brian's like, man, let me just make him think that he missed a good question when really there isn't one. Oh, here it is. He said, "What's the real reason for bagging on Josh Williams? It ain't penalties. Jawan still has a job." That is a great question, Brian. I have no idea. If you want run support,
It just became a talking point at some.
good Lord,
did it come
bro.
from the same? Did it come from the same line that the whole Joe Tooney versus DJ Humphries come from?
I don't know.
I feel like there's a subset right there in Chiefs Kingdom that gets a lot of credit.
yeah, so
but
they have
put out
no
a
idea
lot
what
of
the hell they're talking
BS.
about. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
So I mean,
Just because you're a dork and you try to sound like you're smart doesn't mean you know a damn thing about what you're talking about. And there's a lot of that going on in Chiefs.
Steve, do I want to learn from guys who beat up the nerds that never played the game, or from the guys that got beat up by the guys that played the game?
Yeah, dude, I don't understand it.
Hey,
Like some of these
okay,
people
here's
looking
what
like South
Casey
Park characters out there
Lyon
telling us BS all the time.
sent
It's
us.
crazy.
He sent this one.
Ah, yes, I saw this earlier. It made
Yeah, it's
me
funny
happy.
because you get the weird angle.
Yeah, that's it though. That's all I've been seeing. Just a bunch of dumb
I
stuff.
mean, yeah, it's true. They would be like, well, he's not down because just the crown of his helmet's on the ground. He would be allowed to slide in. Come on, they're gonna make up crap from everything, dude.
Yeah, they're absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I don't understand the Josh Williams thing, Brian. Like, I honestly think he's played at a higher level than Najee Johnson has consistently all season
far.
long. Not even close. He's also better in run support than Najee Johnson. He doesn't get stiff-armed into oblivion by James Cook like Najee Johnson.
Josh Williams does miss tackles. I'll
He
give
does,
him that.
but I mean,
he's missed a few.
but he also will make some good tackles too. He's very L'Jarius Sneed-esque when it comes to that. He might miss some, but he's going to make them count when he does. Big body, a lot of speed.
He's
and
missed
he'll hit
6
some
on the
people.
season, so
Right.
6 missed tackles.
What would you rather see? Would you rather see someone miss a tackle, or would you rather see them get stiff armed, just boom, just right into the dirt?
I would rather you at least be making an attempt
I mean, yeah, dude.
than getting your ass handed to you. Like, I don't want you, like, with your penis in the dirt. I want you to be, like, getting something going. Josh Williams had a pretty good year by all means. Everybody was on his ass all year. He can't do this, can't do that. 282 covered snaps during the regular season, and he posted a PFF grade of a 68. And again, for the entire season, Josh Williams led up 20 catches for 196 yards.
Yeah.
And 1 touchdown. That was it. That was it.
Yep. I don't get it.
It's not, and you would say, oh, well, he don't have enough coverage. Okay, well, let's look at Jalen Watson really quickly.
Jalen Watson.
Just so I can tell you how many times he covered. He had 221. So he was 50 short. Now, granted, he had missed a lot of time, but still, that's the same equivalent. Like, you're looking at the same coverage. So if Josh Williams would have got to play the same amount. So Jalen Watson, out of 221, he lets up, where's it at, 15 for 192. So Jalen Watson led up 5 less catches for 5 less yards. So there was not that big of a difference. I think the imposingness of what a Jalen Watson does to a quarterback. But I remember some of the Josh Williams critique throughout the season was, well, his guy was open if they would have threw at him. And it's like, but they didn't. Like, he had covered them enough that the quarterback had to eventually look somewhere else.
The ball got to any receiver when said cornerback is not covering them properly, that would be a completion.
If we targeted Justin Watson 300 times in a year, he may have 1,000 yards.
Right.
But you can't play the what-if game.
Yep. Let's go, baby. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks so much for being here and hanging out with us today on Wednesday, February 5th. Tomorrow's my birthday. It's my birthday, Michael.
Woo.
No one's even going to throw me a party or nothing, you know?
Party hard, man.
Like, you're old.
It's you had a midweek birthday. You're just screwed there.
It's on a Thursday. It's like, what in the world am I going to do?
My birthday tends to always fall on a Monday, which is even worse.
Every year somehow. Isn't it true that, like, every year the day just goes back one?
You think, but at some point it misses.
Yeah. All I want for my birthday is the Chiefs to beat that Eagle ass in the Super Bowl. That's all I want. Is that so much to ask?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you haven't. If you're watching this on X or on Facebook, make sure to share that out with your followers, family, and friends. Y'all can share this video to your friends anyway. We got to get the word of All Chiefed up out there. That way you don't got to get so much slap nutty takes on things like Josh Williams, and Joe Tooney and all that stuff. I mean, that's just absurd. You don't have to sit through it. You don't. You really don't. Shout out BetUS for powering this live stream. Go to betus.com and check them out. Also, Man to Sleep, get in the description, and Mando as well. Make sure your balls aren't stinking out there, gentlemen. Make sure your balls aren't stinking. And we'll be back next time. We'll be back Friday for sure with another live stream, some game predictions and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for content, and we'll see you then. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Heaven was a sight from my soul.